What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Krazy4KVs Podcast. I'm Tim. Welcome back to my channel. We're on episode 5. If you're not familiar, kind of use the podcast as a way to just kind of dump information. Gives me a chance to chit chat about some things that are up and coming, thoughts on new products, whatever it may be, and things I need to work on, upgrades I need to do, and things I have come into the channel. So if you're finding this and you decide you want to listen to it in more of a traditional style podcast form, maybe you're in your commute to work, whatever it may be, help you get through workout, a walk, you can actually go to Spotify and just search Krazy4KVs and you'll find it there. But I'll also link the podcast down below in the video description, so you can hit that. It'll take you over there. But yeah, I started doing the video version of the podcast on episode 3, and we're just going to continue to roll with it. I like it a lot better. It feels a little bit more interactive to me, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So we kind of have a traditional, kind of things we go through, but it is a little bit fluid. So, and it usually ends with me ranting about something. So buckle up. Don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. Sometimes I come on a little strong with my opinions, but we'll just jump right into it. So one of the first things we always talk about is the update to the channel. Kind of to use it as a bookmark for me. I can go back, look at my show notes, and I can kind of see where I was for every episode. So episode 5, today's March 11th, 2023. We started the channel in November, so we're almost 5 months in, and we're at 414 subscribers. We hit a really good spike right around 80, maybe 90, and kind of took us all the way to that right around 300 mark, and it's been pretty steady ever since then. That big spike was kind of twofold. One, I got an awesome shout out from Logan over at West Desert Wheeler, and 2, I think there was a lot of anticipation around the C3 build that I did on the channel. If you guys haven't seen that, I will link that up here. And yeah, it was the reason I bought the truck and started the channel was because there wasn't a lot of information. I was curious. I did like the look of the chassis, but that's kind of what got me to pull the trigger on it. So we're also at about 1,800 watch hours. So we're moving along pretty good. A lot of my videos are pretty long, quite a bit of rambling, hopefully some good stuff in there too. Try to pass information as much as I have on to you guys. Not an expert, only one person, and everything is my own opinion. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying something to make it fact. I'm just telling you, my thoughts and kind of the way I see it from my standpoint. But on that note, those numbers are just a testament to all of you, and I want to thank you all right here at the top of the episode. And I wouldn't keep doing this if it wasn't for the encouraging comments and the views and the engagement and seeing people actually get involved and seeing that I'm answering questions and kind of helping people out. So it's been fun. Speaking of West Desert Wheeler, if you guys haven't seen it, go over to his Instagram. Obviously, give him a follow if you haven't followed him. Also follow Scumbag RC, him and Luke over there. They do an awesome live stream every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Mountain Time where they're at in Utah. And it's just an awesome show. They, kind of talk about what's happened in the week, what they've been up to. But I had the privilege of being their guest on the March 2nd episode, which is pretty awesome. They have people like UC Fab, Harley Designs, Scale Builders Guild. They had Wyatt, the engineer of the SCX10 Pro. They get some fairly big names, especially in like the RC influencer / content creator game. And I felt very lucky that they asked me to be on there. And it was an honor. And honestly, it was a complete blast. I was a little nervous, but go check it out. I think it was a pretty good show. I have a lot of respect for people that can do live streams by themselves, keep up with comments, answer questions, and also kind of have an agenda to talk about. Because I was excited, doing a lot of talking, and barely read the comments. And if you watched it and you commented, I definitely did not ignore you. It was just a first-time experience, and I kind of got a little bit lost in it. But yeah, you can go check it out. You can watch a replay of it. So next up, we usually talk about new things, like gear, whether it's recording, audio, whether I bought new kits or parts or anything like that. So I bought 2 of the limited edition low CJR XTs, kind of their little 16 scale or 18 scale retro 2-wheel drive monster truck. And they're going to stay in the box. Gonna keep them, maybe someday resell them if the value goes up, or maybe I'll break one out, turn it into a shelf queen, maybe have a runner, have kids. It can be great first RCs for them. They weren't very expensive, and as soon as I saw they were only making 5,000, I thought, I'm not gonna wait. So both of mine are in the 2,000 range. Like one's 26 something and one's 2,700 something. So didn't get any low serial numbers, but still pretty excited, and I got those in yesterday. And a few weeks back, Josh over at Harley Designs mentioned they're not going to be making them anymore, at least not for the foreseeable future. So I thought, all right, so I got 2 sets. I got a bronze set and a gray set just to kind of have as another option, and a lot easier to pay that price than to, if that's the absolute wheel that I need later on. I just didn't want to pay any scalped prices. So not planning on flipping them or anything, but it's kind of nice to know that they probably will go up in value if, something were to happen. Bought a whole bunch of parts. They're not here yet, and we'll get to what all that is for towards the end of the episode. I'm going to make you guys wait just a little bit. So moving on, next section, we usually talk about some recent videos. Things have been a little bit slower here. I'm waiting on a couple of things and really just need time. And I've been slowly kind of chipping at organization and processes and things like that. So I have a couple of big builds coming, and that's going to kind of fuel the channel for the next few months, I think. A couple of events coming up. But some of the bigger videos that I've done over the past couple of weeks is I did an upgrade video on my TRX 4M, kind of just walked through some of the parts I chose. There wasn't a lot of stuff out there. I don't think the small scale stuff is really the most entertaining, especially the running footage. I have a hard time being really enthusiastic about it. The TRX 4M is a great one, by far my favorite, but it's just not as cool as a 110th, I don't think. But yeah, I put a Holmes Hobby motor in it, put a Reefs 99 Micro in it, and then I did a follow-on video and we took it out and ran it. Did great. Thought the steering servo was just night and day different. I think it's got 3 times the power. The motor I put in, not the best. I really think we're at the limit of the ESC. The motor worked just fine. It just wasn't a huge improvement over the stock motor. So I put the 66 turn in. I think we're going to back it down and do the 87 turn. Just get the ultimate like low speed resolution, crawlability, and then kind of leave it at that. And then we might stick that 66 turn in another one later on if we decide to do that. But probably my most successful and honestly the most fun video I've filmed in a few weeks, if not months, was I did a 4-gate competition, 4 different trucks, kind of 4 trucks I thought were going to be pretty competitive with each other. So we took my Cliffhanger, my non-4-wheel steer Capra, the Ground Fox, which is the Artful Dodgers kind of comp style truck, as well as my Pirate Wagon, which is built on an Element Gatekeeper, and it's got a Power Wagon body on it. Yeah, I set up some gates, didn't really measure them, eyeballed it, picked some random terrain, and kind of just went for it. Didn't try anything out, just kind of wung it, I guess. And it actually turned out to be really fun, and it's been pretty well received as well. Those 4 trucks, I knew there was going to be a spectrum of the ones that I knew were capable and the ones that I thought could compete, but I will link it here up in the corner, and you guys can go check it out. And in that video, I actually ask, if you guys like that, let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking about doing a couple different similar versions, kind of stacking some trucks that I think are comparable and kind of putting them through their paces and see, which ones do better in different types of obstacles. And that's what I think was cool about the 4 gates is they were all pretty unique. It wasn't the exact same thing over and over. All right, so moving on. The next thing we talk about is kind of new up and coming products. And I usually just reference like Big Squid to kind of remind myself of stuff I've seen over the past few weeks since the last episode. Definitely not going to hit everything, but just a few things that stand out. Number one, Rock Hobby or FMS has that new 1/10 Atlas. It's kind of a Power Wagon-esque. It's got a flatbed on it with a spare tire. It's got a big smokestack. Pretty cool looking truck. I don't think, where I'm at in the hobby right now, I don't think that I'm really the market for that. I kind of have doubts about its capability, durability, parts support, things like that. It does look cool. I think it's a great option for a beginner. It's just one of those things you have to kind of be weary of. If you break something or you're looking for specific upgrades, how available those are going to be. And I actually just saw that the price on that is $250, which is fantastic. It's got kind of like knockoff Hyraxes on it. It looks pretty good. But, like I said, it's just one of those things. Probably not for me. Probably along the lines of like an MST or something like that. Very basic, but it'll get the job done and kind of let you know if you like it without needing to spend that $400, $500, $600 range. Speaking of FMS, if you guys remember the Mashkin, it was clearly a Jeep, and I'm pretty sure they got a cease and desist, or they actually had a lawsuit filed against them because it was not a licensed body. Well, it appears, I've seen some teasers, that they're coming back under the name of Mashkin with just a different livery, kind of a Jurassic Park style. I don't know if they're doubling down on trying to hit copyright violations, but it doesn't say anything about Jeep in it. And it's not a Jurassic Park theme, but it definitely looks like it's Jurassic Park. So pretty interesting. Lots of other great products have come out. Some small, some big, like the Cross RC, that giant 10x10 thing. But nothing that really like struck my interest. A couple of nice bodies from Proline. That Ford F100, not too bad. Definitely not as nice as the Chevy that came out with the pinched front end. And then probably my favorite body they came out with was the cab only Cliffhanger. Super popular body. I get it. I have my Cliffhanger that's on a VS410 chassis kit, SCX10 axles, and it's just the clearances, the approach angles, everything. You don't have to really do much trimming to get big tires on it. It just works. It's definitely competition oriented, super performance oriented, and the cab only is going to be really popular. People are going to build truggies out of them, which is going to be really cool. So normally I go through and talk about like repairs I need to do, or maybe just pending upgrades. I actually decided that I'm going to sell 5 RCs. So I don't think at this time I'm going to be shipping any of them. So if you're not within driving distance of Augusta, Georgia, probably doesn't apply to you, but stuff that has been on the channel, some of the stuff has been on the channel, and it's going to be going away, running out of shelf space, running out of time to be able to run them all, and just kind of the things that don't excite me as much, and they've just kind of sat there and collected dust. So number one, that TRX4, one of the first ones on the channel, it had the green Power Wagon body with the Proline plastic cage on the back. I did some stuff on it, took my nice electronics out, put some RTR electronics in, threw some stock TRX4 wheels and tires on it, and I'm going to be giving someone a great deal on that. It's in great shape. I also took all the brass off of it, so very bare bones truck, probably around the $200 mark, maybe $225, but it's in great shape. But it's ready to run, and it's got stock electronics from Traxxas, and then it's got a Spectrum steering servo on it, which is almost twice as powerful as a stock Traxxas one. So kind of cleans out some of my RTR electronics bin, as well as creating space on a shelf, which I do need. Another one that's been on the channel that MST CFXW FJ45. That was a mouthful. I cannot believe I got that right on the first try. Kind of an FJ45 style. It was like a flat red. I painted on the outside just to do something different. Drove it twice, once off camera and then once for the RC Garage Tour. And it has sat since. It had very basic brushed motor, one of those ISDT ESCs in it, Amazon servo, and it's a great truck. Very bare bones, very simple. You can get to everything really easily. Not expensive. That one will be under $200, and yeah, recoup some funds, but also make some room. I don't know if any of you guys have a fairly decent collection. I think right now I'm over 20 for sure. I think I'm closer to 30, counting the SCX 24s, and I have like Grasshopper and stuff like that. But I don't know if you guys ever have like a guilty feeling that they just sit there, and I could give someone a great deal on it. Maybe switch out your nice parts, part those out, sell those separately, or keep them for yourself, and then put some RTR stuff in there. Give someone a great deal. Go to an event and find someone who is just kind of watching, let them drive it, and then, that's my plan. Kind of let them know, like, hey, it's for sale, and I will give you a great deal if you take it home today. Besides that, X-Max is for sale. It's been for sale for a little bit. I've had a few bites, but nothing that's stuck. My Max, which is the 4S smaller version, ton of stuff, extra parts with that, selling that as well. And then I have a Low C Mini T. Pretty cool. It doesn't take up much room. To be honest, it's not really worth a whole lot, but I think somebody else would enjoy it more, and I probably am not going to do anything with it, to be honest. All right, so we're at the point of the episode where basically you guys get all the spoilers for the channel, and besides for the Instagram live stream with West Desert Wheeler and Scumbag RC, I have not talked about one of the biggest things that's upcoming to the channel, besides for here on the podcast. So you guys have heard me talk about my A1 build, and if this is the first one you're catching and you didn't see the Instagram live stream, it is an RC Speedy A1 chassis. Definitely a lot more comp oriented, definitely smaller, sits lower. It is actually intended to be a direct drop on chassis to the Phoenix. So you don't use the rails, anything like that, but factory skid plate, factory axles, links, everything, shocks, and it actually allows you to lay the shocks down a little bit, get that CG down. Long story short, I ended up doing titanium on it because it's about a half pound lighter for the chassis. Still going to be heavy, it's not going to be a plastic cage. It's still not a Capra, right? But for a metal tube chassis, I think it's going to be very capable, but we're going to find out. So I actually have all the parts from the Phoenix ready to go. The shocks are built, the links are built, transmission, the axles, wheels and tires. It is ready to go. The chassis right now is in Louisville, Kentucky, basically in holding, clearing customs. It came from China, and so we're just waiting, and I should have it within the next few days. So I'm super excited. Hopefully very soon, you guys will start seeing content on that. I'll show you initial thoughts on the chassis, the quality of it, and the panels and the things like that that come with it. And then we'll get it built and kind of walk you guys through that process. If there's any weird things that come up during the build, just in case you're considering one. And obviously we're going to go out and run it, and we're going to see how it does. While we're on the note of RC Speedy, the chassis manufacturer, he did post on his Facebook that he is in the process of working on a design for the C4, 4th edition of that Ultra 4 kind of King of the Hammer style chassis. And he's basically gonna halt production on C3 once he goes through all the material he has. So if you're interested, get with him ASAP. He might still be able to make you one. Otherwise, you may be waiting 5-6 months before he releases that C4. I think he takes downtime, does a bunch of design, and then releases it. Does a bunch of chassis building, and then kind of shuts down and repeats the process. So next up on upcoming stuff, I finally finished up. I was doing some brazing, brazed up a front and rear bumper just on a basic element builder's kit, and finished that truck. Got it painted, did kind of like a retro striped paint job on it. And if you guys have seen any of my trucks, you know I'm pretty much a 1, maybe 2 color person. So this one has, 4 or 5 colors on it, and so it's pretty fun. A couple different size stripes too, and a couple different locations. And I think it turned out great. It's kind of a nod to that 80s style of the Hilux body that's sitting on it. And yeah, we'll get that out and run it. Don't expect it to do super well, but I do want to show you guys the bumpers that I made, just to kind of show you like, hey, if I can do it, I've never welded anything in my life, never brazed anything. I think I messed up like 2 small bends with some pretty simple tools and some patience and kind of thinking things through. I was able to make some bumpers that I think actually turned out really well. All right, drum roll. I'm drum rolling on my desk. The noise cancellation's probably filtering it out. But we have a new spoiler. I'm already giving you guys another sneak peek. When I was doing the live stream with Logan and Luke, they were kind of nudging me into doing a competition. And I thought, yeah, East Coast Championships are coming up. They're at Little Rock City. It's about 4 hours away. Amazing terrain. I've been there before. Been looking for a reason to go back. Kind of scared of the competition scene. Just the intimidation factor of the Sorka rules and things like that. Long story short, for East Coast Championship, ECC, they're running 2022 Sorka rules, which are far less confusing than the new ones. I think the new ones make a lot of sense. I kind of peel back the onion a little bit to understand them, but much more digestible from last year's rules. So I decided, all right, we're diving in, which kind of alludes to why I'm selling some vehicles, because this was an unexpected cost. Trying to figure out chassis, things like that, kind of got overwhelmed. I will tell you, I bought a kind of a complete chassis kit. Comes with a lot of the things already answered. It's designed to be kind of a swap for a truck. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we're going to be building a comp truck. We're going to be comping, and I'm going to do my best to document that whole process so you guys can see what it is like as someone who has never driven timed gates, has never had to use a winch in a time crunch, or really like think about exactly how I want to approach an entire course and weigh, a reverse versus taking a gate. Going to try to document the entire process and hopefully get some practice runs in. But that comp is in May. It's the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. I think I'm going to be there probably the 19th, 20th for Class 2. I bought Class 2 tickets only to the event. So Friday, Saturday, probably get there Friday, do some practice runs, make sure, nothing's going to fall apart and forget anything stupid. Maybe run a couple courses and then just hit it hard Saturday. And I'm just looking to have fun. I'm not trying to win. I know I'm not going to win. There's going to be some guys there that practice all the time, and gals. And when I say guys, I just mean people. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it. As soon as I was able to get a ticket, ordered everything same day, spent a ton of money. But in the sense of not trying to win, I also want my truck to be as competitive as possible. I will go ahead and spoil it. It is not an SCX10 Pro. They're back ordered until April something, and I would like to get some practice in. So, and once I pulled the trigger and decided to do a comp, I kind of realized I was eating my own words, because I see the value. I see the convenience of the SCX10. It's, for me, first comp. I was like, wow, that would be really nice. I could just buy a kit, build it, throw some electronics in it, and be off and running. And honestly, for that price, not a bad deal. But I think the truck's going to do pretty well. I think what I came up with is going to be high performing. It's going to be more capable than my driving skills, that's for sure. So looking forward to it. As long as it doesn't catch on fire or fall off one of their 40-foot cliffs they have up there, I'll be happy. Just looking to go have fun, see if it's something I'm into, and just document and kind of show you guys what it looks like to jump into the comp scene as a newbie. I don't know anyone there. I don't think that's going to compete, so no friends that are going to be there, but everyone's very welcoming, very warm, and I have no doubt that someone will be willing to help me out and kind of give me pointers along the way. All right, so we're going to try to wrap this thing up. 2 other events that I got coming up this coming weekend. Georgia Rock Zombies, kind of my most local group, and they're a group that's kind of based around fun. They put on a couple events a year, and one of their biggest ones is the Halloween Haul and Crawl, and they just do a bunch of different kind of silly competitions. They did zigzag like racing with crawlers. They do tug of war. There's sumo table, things like that. And their next event, which is in southern Georgia, is this coming weekend. It's one day only. If you are free this weekend, Saturday, March 18th, come check it out. If you're anywhere near Columbus, Georgia, check out the Georgia Rock Zombies Facebook page. You can find the details there. Tickets are $20, I think. There's a bunch of sponsors. Very good chance you might win something. And the people there associated with that group and that come to their events are absolutely awesome. I had a blast when I was at Cherokee Rock Village for their last one. But not really prepared for that. Been working on some other things. So this week I'm going to be kind of scrambling, figuring out what trucks I want to take, making sure my tug of war truck is good to go, because there will be tug of war. We're going to find out how good my Bronco does. And yeah, just looking to have fun and hang out. Hopefully the weather's good. And then while we're talking about events, the last one this coming summer, rock balancing / hill climb event in western Georgia, kind of on the Alabama border. I think it's on some private property, also associated with the Georgia Rock Zombies. So need to get my Rift out, find a couple of bounty hills, and hone my driving skills, but also do some test and tune, put a new sway bar on there. I've got a couple different tires I can run, and just see what works the best. They kind of have a local series going on right now, so a lot of those guys are getting a lot of run time on their rock bouncers and hill climbers. So I'm at a disadvantage. I live in the flat part of the state. But that is going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching the Krazy4KVs podcast. Thanks for following my channel. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most. If there's something I didn't mention and you want to see it on the channel, I'll take a look at it. But that's going to do it. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.